Good morning, everyone. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and welcome to WEAC TV 24's Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares on this April 18th, Friday morning. Wow, it's already April 18th. We hope you are all doing well, and we want you to know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we have some very special guests with me today. We have Fred Smith,
Hello.
MPA, CAP, all the initials, and Vice President of the Community Partnerships with the Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama.
Yes.
And we have Kathy Folkley, who's also with the Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama, and you are a volunteer with them,
yes.
right? So May is Mental Health Awareness Month,
Yes.
and you guys do something that I've been involved with for quite some time. You have Out of the Shadows Summit, which is a conference, like a one-day conference that you have every year. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the conference and how it started and who supports you, all that good stuff?
Well,
Sure.
I'll kind of start.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is our 7th year.
Oh, wow.
And back in probably 8 years ago, the Community Foundation, along with one of their board members, Brenda Stedham, an attorney here in town, thought that it would be a great idea to do a one-day conference, not just professionals, who are in the helping field, but for people who suffer from mental illness, their families, friends.
Yes.
It's a community. We're
Right.
all in it together. So about a year later and planning, we had our first conference, and it was at Jacksonville State University. Jacksonville State is they're one of the big supporters of this conference, and they're the
They
ones who
support me and my conferences too. So Jacksonville State is wonderful about doing
They
that.
are. They're absolutely fabulous. And it was actually Jacksonville State and Julie Nix through the counseling department that wrote the grant for
Oh, wow.
to receive the funds to put on the first conference. And so here we are now in our 7th year.
And I'm sure it's grown every year as
It
well.
has. Yeah.
Attendance is usually between 300
To
350.
That's awesome.
And we're real happy to also have about 20 vendors. Another word for vendors are agencies and people who have programs that support
Right.
mental health. I think a lot of people don't know what's out there in terms of programs that can help you if
Oh
you,
yeah, and that's why we do this show every Friday,
Yeah.
is to let our public know and our communities know. And you don't have to live in Calhoun County to attend. You can live in
Correct.
Etowah County. You can live in over the state line in Georgia and come over if you want to.
Correct.
That's what I tell everybody about our events too, and that's why I think it's so important to make partnerships along with you guys because we will have a table there.
That's right.
as well. So I think that's a very good point that we want to try to educate our communities and empower them as much as we can.
Correct.
Well, you said the word partnership. That's really what Fred is all about because our conference is, anyone anywhere can come to our conference, but we try to focus on services in the area that the Community Foundation supports. 7 counties?
Well, 9.
9 counties.
counties.
Yeah.
Okay.
And having the opportunity to see partners throughout the 9 counties that we serve. We focus on impactful grant making. We focus on donor philanthropy. But the third thing we focus on is community collaborative partnerships. And so Out of the Shadows is, at its core, is an opportunity for partners in the region to come together to show the community the type of resources that's ordinarily either overlooked or unknown with a population that has a tremendous need.
Oh,
And
yes.
so what better way to connect resources with need than to host an event where we bring together practitioners, we bring together family members of those that are suffering with mental health challenges on various levels. We bring together a host of community advocates, professionals from all walks of life, We offer the opportunity to give CEUs.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah, for professionals. And so it's really that day, it's a one-stop shop where you're able to walk in, and no matter where you are on your journey, of either you're there for a family member, or you're there for yourself, or you're there because you are the person that provides
And I
professional
love that.
services.
And what we do with the Alabama Cares program, we kind of mirror that on the caregiving side. So
Very
when we
good.
have our annual Alzheimer's and Dementia Caregivers Conference, we did the same thing. So
Yes.
we provide CEUs just like you do to our
Yes.
professionals, but we want the caregivers to come in, and we want those people that are dealing with this every day to come in. So I think that's a very good way of getting everybody involved.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, they're not. You're just not limited to it. So the actual conference is going to be May 9th.
Yes.
May the
correct?
9th.
May
Mhm.
9th, and it's
May
at
the
the
9th.
Oxford Civic Center.
Correct.
At May 9th, and we'll get here's some information about it. It's from 8 to 4:30 at the Oxford Civic Center, and you can scan that QR code and get all that information, or you can call that phone number that's right there for more information about that. And we'll get to the how much it cost and all that stuff, and how much it doesn't cost or whatever a little bit later. But
Right.
how do you guys? I know that you said that you had a grant. So I think I read some of the things that you guys gave me. You had like a $10,000 grant or
Yeah.
something like that. But then you also have like people that like Alabama Power or whoever that also helps you with that, along with that to
Yes.
put this on, because you
Yeah.
feed them lunch and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
right?
it's
a big take, right? It's a
Yeah.
big thing to do.
Yeah, it is. For 350 people,
That's a
it
lot.
is a lot.
Yes.
It is a lot.
But we've been blessed with the Oxford Civic Center donates the building to us. The Medical Society of Calhoun County, the RMC, our hospital, and the Hospital Foundation, Alabama Power, they give us actual dollars that help. And then we have several agencies and people who provide us in kind, provide all the water, provide
Oh, that's awesome,
the
too.
drinks. It's
That costs
everything.
money.
Everything costs, and it's amazing how when people find out what we're doing, that they want to help.
Right.
Because I think, every one of us have had mental health issues or
Know someone.
substance abuse issues,
Yes.
alcohol, or just relationship issues that really affect how we live,
Or
the
you-
quality of our life.
Right, or you're in a church setting and you're wanting to help those people, your parishioners in your church, or you're in a I guess a role in your church to help other people. I think that you never
Sure.
can learn too much. That's what
We can never learn
You
too
know what I
much.
mean? I tell all my folks that all the time. I mean, because education, I feel, empowers you to do better.
Yes, and
You
that,
know?
I think that's another reason why we have the sheriff's department as a part of us.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That we encourage all walks of life,
Right.
professions to come and learn about.
And also the destigmatization of it.
Oh, yes.
And just the name, Out of the Shadows, it really tells you what we're doing with our mission, and is providing an opportunity to bring to the light.
Yeah, spotlight it.
Yeah,
And say, this is what
absolutely.
we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and give other people permission to do the same thing.
Yeah, that it's okay.
which is very freeing, and then
Yeah.
that you can have a productive life, though you
Oh,
may
definitely.
have a disability, though you may have problems. It doesn't inhibit you from getting
agree.
over that and
And you know, I taught a
empowering
wellness
yourself.
class to seniors and to caregivers, and my big thing I used to always tell them was that just because you have diabetes, that's not what defines you. You don't go up to someone and say, "Hello, I'm Ellen and I'm diabetic," right? I mean, because that's not
No.
what defines who
Right,
you
right,
are.
right.
You are all these other things, but diabetes is just something you have to deal with.
That's
it's just
right.
it's just another card you were dealt with, and you deal with it, but it doesn't have to take over your life, and it doesn't have to define who you are. Same way with mental illness. I feel that there's so many people that do such wonderful things that are dealing with mental illness, but they have it under control. They see counselors, they go to therapy, they take medication, they do whatever it is that they're supposed to do because they learned about it. They educated themselves about it.
And
I think
just like you just said, Ellen, but it's easier for a person to talk about diabetes than mental
it is.
illness.
It is.
Because it's more mainstream, it's more to the average person, understand it, normal, accept it. And so that's another component of what we're doing, is we're saying that you don't have to function within a silo and try to navigate the waters by yourself. That you would be surprised the staggering statistics that are out there in every age category of the amount of people that are actually dealing with some form of mental illness. In some statistics, it's 1 in 5. Some categories, it's 1 in 8. And so you're looking at least 10 to 20% of most age categories are dealing with some form of mental.
And people don't realize, just like something we were talking about before we started the show, was we were talking about how bullying, children that are bullied, social media, all these things that weigh on people's minds and it affects us in lots of ways, especially young children that are so fragile, trying to find their way in life. And then you have all these, thank goodness we didn't have that when we were growing up. I didn't have that issue. We didn't have social media to worry about when I was growing up, but the kids nowadays do.
There's a lot of issues.
So, just because you hear the word mental illness doesn't mean that you have to be diagnosed with a certain type. There's no box we're putting anyone in, right?
Correct.
It could be everything. If you're having issues with certain things, this may be a good conference for you to go to see what you can learn.
Exactly. And then we will have people there, do a little sidebar. People don't think of Abraham Lincoln or Lyndon Baines Johnson, presidents of the United States, who had suffered with mental illness, and they did wonderful things for our country. And we have people who are at our conference who speak about their own issues and how they managed them. And I think when you hear someone tell how they were able to overcome or manage it, it gives me more power that maybe I can do the same thing. So,
and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit, but we're going to have to take a short break, for a word from our wonderful sponsors. And you are watching WEAC TV 24's Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program, and we will be right back.
Whether you are traveling or on the rebound, get with your local Allstate and huddle up to find the best options for you. With a strong variety of coverages to choose from, Allstate is on a mission to get you in good hands today.
Cutter's Pizzeria is celebrating 5 years with 2 locations in Alexandria and Oxford, Alabama. Open Monday through Saturday for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. Y'all come on out for our popular 5-pound pizza, wings, salads, pastas, and more. You can find out more about Cutter's Pizzeria at cutterspizzeria.com.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been serving East Central Alabama. Now serving 6 counties in East Central Alabama. We now currently have 13 locations, expanding to 15 locations. In 2024, we opened Anniston, right here in Calhoun County. Whenever we first came to Calhoun County, it was 2019 in Oxford. Whenever we're expanding, we're now going to Jacksonville in 2025. We look forward to continuing to be in your local hometown bank right here in Calhoun County in East Central Alabama.
I'm Alan Parnell with Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24. I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and we are talking about Mental Health Awareness Month, which is coming up in May. And we have Miss Kathy and Mr. Fred here talking to us from the Community Foundation and this wonderful program that you guys are doing, Out of the Shadows. It's a one-day conference, and we were talking about how JSU helps you, and they actually are going to provide CEUs to nurses, social workers, counselors, that kind of thing. But you also want family members, those that are suffering from mental illness, friends of those that know someone, anyone that wants to know more about any type of mental illness, whether it's bullying or a diagnosis or whatever, right? Alcohol, drug addiction, anything that falls underneath the category of the mental health. And like you said, it's such a stigma, and we don't want you guys to think that. We want you to, I bring these people on every Friday because I want you to be empowered to live your best life, and you need to talk about it. So what better place to go talk about it than at the Out of the Shadow Summit, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
The public is invited.
Yes, everybody's invited. Yes. So, and then you were talking about other community donors like Alabama Power. You said, I think, Calhoun County Medical Society, RMC Foundation, RMC, all that stuff. And then you had in-kind. So if you guys want to help them, if somebody wants to donate something, how do they do that? Like if somebody in the community says, mental health has really, touched my family and I want to give back, how could they help you guys? How could they give back to the Out of the Shadows conference?
Well, they can feel free to donate at the Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama.
Okay.
And we will make sure that the donation gets to
So they can say
the
they can
support.
earmark it pretty
Absolutely.
much like that. They can say,
Absolutely.
I want my money to go to that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And we will make sure. We partner with JSU as the fiscal sponsor for this particular event each
Right.
year. And they've been great partners in the execution of this particular event. But just like all the other partners that you just mentioned, it's really a community event. So what
Yeah.
you see in Northeast Alabama, this is an event that's not duplicated. It's not really a duplication of services.
Right.
And I would honestly say that this is one of the most successful and needed events throughout Northeast Alabama each
I
year
agree.
during the month of May.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do in-kind services, of course you can show up to volunteer the day of the conference. You can reach out to Kathy, you can reach out to me.
Give them the
and,
phone number.
You can call me at the Community Foundation at 256-231-5160, extension 26, and that's where you would reach me if you want to volunteer that day. And,
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
volunteers are always good too.
Yeah.
Volunteers we always need a helping hand.
Yeah. So we have levels of involvement and volunteerism that we have for everybody that would like to participate.
Yeah, and I think that's wonderful. And just like you said too, the stigma that goes with it. I think that just like also like with what I do with dementia and Alzheimer's education, and that's mental health too.
Yeah.
And I think that just like with cancer a long time ago, I think our goal, and I think I can speak for you that your goal is the same as mine, whereas years ago cancer was the C word and nobody wanted to talk about it. Well, then the next thing you know, you have women storming Washington, D.C. saying we need free mammograms, We're talking about it.
That's right.
Which is wonderful. So
Right.
now it's no longer a stigma, that people are talking about it and they're, trying to get more research and trying to find a cure and all this kind of thing. So I feel that mental health, dementia, all that is the same. I mean, we want one day for it to be not a taboo, subject. We want people to talk about it because that's the best way to overcome and to deal with it, right?
I think another element of that is, there are wonderful treatment facilities and counselors that can help, but something that this conference gives us is the person you sit next beside may become your best friend, or you.
That's
or
true.
They,
Kind of like a support group
exactly, or they can
in one room.
They can
Yeah.
share with you what they do, what they've done to.
Because you're among friends. You're among people that care.
And you're in an environment where that's what we're talking about.
Right.
You know.
It's not taboo.
Right.
Right.
And so it's, I think we forget how valuable our families and our friends and our community are in healing us all, or keeping
Takes
us all.
a village. That's what everybody
Yes.
else. And I still
keeping us
believe that. Yes.
keeping us healthy. So the conference has a lot of positives of things that you don't really think about.
Right. And I mean, and that's a good point. Coming somewhere where there are other people there
With
that
the same problem.
Yeah, with same problems, dealing with the same things that maybe you are experiencing, either themselves, a family member, or whatever. So, with that being said, your keynote speaker is Kimberly Boswell, I see here,
Yes.
which is so, and she is the commissioner of the Alabama Department of Mental Health. That's fantastic that you got her to speak. That's
Yes.
wonderful. So, tell us a little bit about that. And you got Joe Hobby, which is a
Yes.
comedian and writer. And so, tell us a little bit about the keynote speakers.
Well, Commissioner Boswell is with the Department of Mental Health. I think she has been the commissioner since 2022, and
Okay.
she has been very upfront in making changes, especially with the emergency services. Alabama's a rural community.
Oh yeah, we're rural.
And
Yes, definitely.
a lot of times, just for a person to get to a clinic, you're talking about an hour and a half drive.
Correct.
And the State Department, her department, has worked very hard in trying to make that distance shorter with telehealth and with other
Closing that gap.
closing that gap, and expanding services.
Right.
And then she'll just kind of give us a picture of what's the state's health. How are we
Yeah,
doing?
the state of the mental
Of the mental health
of the state.
Alabama.
Yes.
And we always struggle with shortage of beds and shortage of many things with people who are seriously mentally ill.
Right. And this has been in the news so much, and I always say that our mental health system is broken, and that and I think it's wonderful that you guys are doing what you're doing to bring light to all of this, because it's something that we all need to talk about on all levels. And it's so good to hear that the county sheriff's department's involved.
Yeah.
Just little things like that, because that means so much. Because we have, if you're from Calhoun County, we have a homeless problem here. There's there's a mental health issues. And that's across the board everywhere you go, all over the United States. But we want to close that gap here in our own community,
Right.
and I think that's wonderful what you guys are doing.
Well, and I think what we're also trying to say is, it's real easy to say that the system's broken, or to say that we lack services, and really what we need to say is, how do we make those better?
I agree with you.
How do we do with what we have? And
Right.
and like even with the police department, it is so difficult for a police officer to encounter a domestic violence or a mentally ill person
yes.
in an active psychosis, and he may not have had, or she may
training.
not, the training,
Yes.
and all they really want to do is the right thing for those people.
I agree.
And we hope, and usually we have several police officers and people from the sheriff's department and police department, and all they really want to do is tell me how to do it better, and they
Of
feel better
course,
about
because
themselves.
if they know, that makes
If
their
they
job
know.
easier too.
Right.
If they know how to deal with something, because
Exactly.
knowledge is power, most
Right.
definitely. And I feel like like in our area, what we do, I don't think we're saying it's broken in that aspect. I think what we're saying is that everybody needs to do their part.
Everybody
You know what I
needs
mean?
to,
Everybody
right.
needs to do their part, and everybody needs to talk about it, so it's not broken. I think it's broken when you
Yeah.
don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
I think you're
And,
absolutely.
and here's the other part is access. You
Yes.
have people at various socioeconomic
Correct.
levels. So what you have that day are people that could pay the $60 for the to get the CEUs, and then you have somebody that's paying the $5 to come in, and then you have somebody that's somebody paid for them to come.
Right.
Right, and somebody that showed up and they
And maybe
yeah.
somebody could volunteer out there to actually
Sponsor.
somebody
Absolutely.
to come.
Yeah,
Like, you know, if you want to
absolutely.
donate to the community foundation, county foundation in Northeast Alabama, you can say, well,
Sure.
I want to donate $20 so that I could get 4 people that can
Exactly.
that afford that $5 to go and attend that.
Sure,
The-
or they can register them.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, they can register them through GSU.
The funds that we receive from RMC and from the Community Foundation are earmarked for people who are in some of the group homes and
That's wonderful.
that are Highland Health clients that can come. But money to come, don't worry about it.
Right. And we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, don't
most
worry-
definitely.
yeah.
Because don't worry about that. We'll get you there. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. And you know, like you said, so the other we talked about the commissioner. So the other person is an actual comedian to break the ice kind of a little bit, right?
Well-
that's always laughter is always good medicine. So we have that person coming.
Well, but he's more than just a comedian. Joe Hobby is a syndicated columnist and a writer. He has written for Jay Leno and others. But he also has a personal story.
Those are always good.
And-
Always heart wrenchers for
Well,
me.
the personal story has a real, it's very powerful to me because a lot of times individuals, family members who suffer from mental illness or alcohol and drug, they lose their family.
Right.
They lose their family, the family can't manage them or they disappear. And he has a son who suffered an addiction and mental health issues, and the family's still together.
Right. And then
And
you'll have to
that's-
come to the actual conference to learn the whole story. We can't tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
I think everybody, and then
She gave you a snippet so that you'll have to come. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
very interesting. And
yes.
yeah, so when we get back, we're going to talk about some of the other speakers that you're going to have and talk about the prices and all that kind of stuff too, and more about mental health awareness and everything. But we are going to take another short break for our word from our sponsors, and you are watching WEAC TV 24's Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares, and we will be right back.
At First Class Roofing and Solar, we are not here to sell you a roof. We are here to get your insurance to buy you a roof. From roofing to gutter installation,
Well, I
from
just hope you're
detaching and
pleased.
resetting solar panels, we've got you covered. So, Mr. Ward, was it easy working with us?
Yes, you guys handled everything with my insurance company, and the hardest thing I had to do is pick out the color for my shingles.
Leave the hassle to us. We'll handle the insurance process so you don't have to. Get your free estimate today. Call 989-THE-GOAT and let us take care of your roof and your insurance too.
Hey guys, this is Blair Smith at Pediatrics Plus here in Anniston, located on Henry Road. I'm over here on the well side, but we do also have a sick side urgent care if you need us. We are more than happy to see you guys. Just come on, check us out if you get a fever, cough, or cold, or want to come in for a good checkup. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Classic 13. How can I help you?
I was thinking about getting a tattoo. Do I need to make an appointment?
No, we take walk-ins every day. Let's find someone to help you. Follow me. Okay, if you'll have a seat right here. Thank you.
Come down to Classic 13, where good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos ain't good.
At Bentley Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Rise and Shine with the East Alabama Planning Commission's Area Agency on Aging's Alabama Cares program. And I'm Ellen Tibbetts Hurst, and I have Mr. Fred with me and Miss Kathy from the foundation. And we're talking about Out of the Shadows Summit. It's a mental health conference, one-day conference, seminar conference, one day. And man, you've got it packed with some speakers and some breakout sessions. Because before the break, we were talking about your main
our guest
speakers. And if you missed any of this, guys, you need to make sure that you go back to YouTube or go back to WEAC TV 24 on Facebook and go back and watch the whole thing. But the breakout speakers, I know that it says like you have Ashley McElroy, I think it is, that's going to be speaking. She's going to be talking about assistive technology for mental illness. That's very interesting. Yes. But you've got so many people that have all these licenses and therapists. Wow, I mean the relationship between self-care and burnout, which that could either be a professional or a caregiver, right? Because I know caregivers burn out. But you have such great breakout speakers. Robert Luna, retired Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, is going to be speaking. That he walked across America.
He did walk across America for raising mental
health awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah. Walking across America, if that don't get your attention, I mean, something's wrong, right? That's a long way.
Yeah, I think his logo is AL to LA.
Reverse it.
Yes,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And he was with us last year, and he's coming back. And we have Fred, who's going to be doing
Fred, and you have Gina Mabry, who's from Jack State. Correct. She's going to be talking, and then we have Fred that's going to be talking. What are you going to be talking about?
My session is going to focus on bridging the gap between mental health awareness and the church.
That's a good one.
Yeah, realizing that there are parishioners in churches that are spiritual and use their spirituality as a big part of their daily living, their life. Really, the church is a part of the fabric of every society that's a Christian nation, a Christian community.
Especially in the South.
Especially in the South.
So true.
And then even other areas of faith where people choose to worship. But we're talking about the church specifically because over 80% of Alabamians are Christian.
Correct.
So when you see that percentage of people that's going to someplace each week and using that place as a major part of the foundation of their faith, of their family, of their homes, of their lives, raising their children as the moral compass for their life, what does that person do when they find themselves challenged with mental illness? Are they not spiritual because they're challenged with mental illness? Is it something that they just pray away? So in my session, I'm going to talk about the delicate balance between faith and actually ministry and actually the professional community.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, giving people the permission to realize that practitioners in the professional community, they're not violating your faith because they're assisting you with mental illness or mental illness awareness.
Right.
They're actually validating the fact that there are people beyond just a Sunday morning setting that have been equipped, that have been trained, that have been licensed to share and minister to the whole man, which is body, soul, and spirit. So I wanted not to give too much more of it away.
Yeah, you have to come.
But your your spiritual walk is spoken into with spirituality. Your body is spoken into and assisted with your nutrition. But then your soul, which includes your mind. It takes specific techniques, strategies, understanding to be able to help somebody navigate through thought process and thinking that they may have that may be at this point roadblocks for them, but they'll be able to overcome those hurdles through the right information.
That's so interesting. And everything is connected to everything, I always say.
Yes.
You know, your physical, your mental, your spiritual,
Yes.
everything feeds off of each other,
Yes.
I feel.
Yeah, and even pastors. Giving pastors the information and understanding to know, Pastor, it is okay to reach out to a professional in the community to assist with cases in your congregation that may go even beyond pastoral counseling.
Right.
There are
right.
some cases that require clinical counseling and not just pastoral counseling. So the faith community, this is a message that has to get out to the faith community.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
I think so often we don't realize that many people who are a member of a church, the first person they go to when they
Is
are
their
in pray
pastor.
is their pastor, and so we invite and want as many pastors who can
And
come.
not only that,
to-
for the pastors to actually have somewhere to come with other people talking about the
Exactly.
same thing,
Sure.
because I'm sure they're burned out too.
Sure.
Because, and I can say this, my father was a pastor, and
Yeah.
I remember when I was young, people, you hear your grandma's talking in the kitchen, right? But I remember them saying, well, he sees so much, or, and I'm sure that being, as a pastor, if you're doing, funeral after funeral and, all these other things, and you're counseling your parishioners and
You
all
give
these things, you're
yourself
giving
to
so
your-
much of
to your-
yourself to
Sure.
those parishioners
Sure.
that you
That's right.
yourself need,
Sure.
something
Exactly.
to do.
Sure. And that's the reality of being in the field of helping humanity. Just like you pour out, you have to be poured back
Yes.
into.
Fill the cup.
Just like the cups. The
Right.
cups pour out, but the cups have to be poured back into.
That's a good way of looking at that.
Yeah, but not just with information, but an awareness that this is something that's going to be ongoing. And so the quicker we find strategies that support systems and strategies that support the ongoing assistance of parishioners, then the better off it would be for everybody in leadership of the church.
Wow.
I think that's another point is oftentimes people think if we have a mental illness or a mental health issue, we're going to get well. Well, we're going to get better, but we really have to know how to manage it, or as you said,
Right.
ongoing,
Right.
and that it help put it into our lives as who we are.
Right.
And make it a strength instead of a,
And there's
a
reasons why
weakness.
people like yourself have that knowledge.
Sure.
Yes.
That
Sure.
you are blessed to have that knowledge
Sure.
to share that with other people, and that
Absolutely.
it's okay
Sure.
for that pastor to tap into that.
Sure.
Or,
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm also a senior pastor, and so having that led a congregation for over 13 years, I'm well versed in seeing the need, but also the balance that can assist pastors once getting this information.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it is a real need, but we are there to provide real solutions out of the shadows. Mental health comes.
And that's what's so
Yeah.
wonderful about that. Like you said, to have other people there that are talking about the same things,
Yes.
that are in the same boat as you,
Yes.
so that you can feel comfortable of asking questions and talking to. And if you don't, I mean, there's still professionals there that maybe you can get them off to the side and talk to them.
Exactly.
Whatever. I mean, you don't have to share in those classes. You can just sit there and listen.
You can get a number.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just sit
And
there and
that's-
listen. And you also have a lady that is a breast cancer survivor, I think, or a cancer survivor.
She is.
And talking about the impact of cancer and how much that would weigh on your mental health, I'm sure. The power, and then you have somebody that's going to be talking about social work and all that. Gosh, you guys got so, I mean, wow.
It's all about resilience and healing.
Yes, yes. But what's so interesting is that this year, for the first time, we did a request for proposals. Like each year, we would reach out to community leaders, and we would say, well, it's that time again. Would you consider being a part of the Out of the Shadows. And every year, professionals from all walks of life that are familiar with us, they have joined us in providing their expertise. But this year, I think we got a little bit of validation.
Yes, we did.
Because we did a request for proposals where we sent out just a blanket, here's what we're doing, here's when it's going to be. We ask, and we are inviting you to submit your proposal and tell us what you would like to present at the Out of the Shadows. And the list of professionals that you just called off,
they contacted us.
They contacted us.
That's wonderful.
So
and I need to do this maybe next year and
absolutely.
Talk about our services and caregivers and dementia and Alzheimer's.
Absolutely.
And the robotic pets that we do and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you have professionals that have shown up for the last 7 years, but this year in particular, a great validation for us.
Wow. And you even have somebody from the American Legion coming to speak about veterans' mental health is a big subject, big topic, big topic as well. And wow, you just, and you do have Nanette, and she's going to come and speak too.
Talking about the homeless house, Martha's Hope.
Yeah, Martha's Hope, and we had someone on our show about that too. So.
And she's probably Mary Odell, one of the speakers about
That's
the integrative
awesome.
Care that they're trying
the Thrive program.
Yeah, to
and
offer.
then you even have like a JSU director of programs coming to talk about the relationship between recreation and mental
the value
health.
of play.
Yeah,
power
because
of play.
wow, guys, I'm a firm believer in laughter is the best medicine. It gives off endorphins. It does. Laughter is the best medicine. But getting outside, the sunshine and recreation, like you said, everything we do, physically, mentally, spiritually, everything is connected.
Yes.
And I think this is such a wonderful program, and I encourage everyone out there to please attend this because it's wonderful. Yes, please do. Here's Mr. Fred's just pulled that up, the Bridging the Gap Between Mental Health and Faith, that you're going to be doing that. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to register. And we'll talk about a little bit more about that a little bit later after our break. We're about to go to break. But just to keep that in mind that you guys out there, that you don't have to be a professional to come.
No.
You don't have to be in any certain box. You just, whoever wants to attend to learn and to be there to learn about all the wonderful things that you've got going on, because you've got it's a mix of all different kinds of speakers.
It's a wide variety.
Wonderful
Wide variety.
lineup. I think this may be one of the best ones you've had so far.
Well, we hope we're getting.
so.
From what I've seen, and I've been there. I attend every year, so I think I can say that. That's it looks really good.
The other nice thing about this conference is, let's suppose you're in a different profession and you've thought about changing professions and thought about maybe going into social work or counseling. This is a wonderful conference to attend.
And for students too. And we'll get back to that after our break. We're going to go to break and hear from our sponsors. And you are watching WEAC TV 24's Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program, and we will be right back.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
At Alexandria Brake and Muffler, we strive to perform exceptional service using premium quality parts to ensure your vehicle withstands the test of time. We do all automotive maintenance and repairs consisting of AC service, check engine light diagnostics, brakes, coolant, and exhaust. Give us a call today. Proudly serving our community to provide honest, high-quality service and repair at a fair price.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hello, my name is Bob Couch, and I'm the owner of Couch's Jewelers. We are your destination for engagement rings, wedding bands, and anniversary and birthday gifts. We offer a wide selection of the best value diamond jewelry and engagement rings. We even gift wrap every purchase for free. And if you have some jewelry that is broken, no worries. Expert jewelry service is offered in-house. At Couch's Jewelers, our customer service is unmatched. If you would like a special jewelry item created just for you, please come to see us.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Alabama Cares Rise and Shine program this April 18th. Can you believe this? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, every Friday we do a Friday dance. So all my guests, we all do a dance. So you're going to have to join in with me. I have Miss Kathy here and Mr. Fred here. We're going to ask them to do our Friday dance. We're going to do a Friday. Yay!
There it is.
It's Friday.
There it is.
So, make you feel good a little bit. We're talking about
I was
mental
afraid
health.
we were going to have to dance.
So we've been talking about mental health awareness, and I want to tell you guys that I appreciate all that you both do. I mean, this is wonderful for our communities. I mean, I'm a big advocate for our communities to come together and for everybody to love everybody in our communities and to help make our community the best one in America, right? So,
right.
I mean, seriously, I mean, it takes a village. I really do believe that, and people from all walks of life, and it doesn't matter what religion you are, what race you are, what socioeconomic background you come from. I mean, we're all people at the end of the day, and we should all help each other, and I think that's so wonderful. The Out of the Shadows Summit is a conference that's one day, and it is May 9th.
Yes,
Friday.
Friday.
Making sure I got that date right. So it's May 9th. Here's the information. It's from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Oxford Civic Center. If you are interested in actually registering, you can go to that QR code.
Yes.
And you can also call that phone number there.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about how, and we'll show that again as we're talking, but that's how they can register, but the fees, because I know people say, well, I can't afford it, and we talked a little bit about that earlier, but there's a $60 registration fee if you're getting CEUs as a professional.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's totally different. So that's the fee that's coming for the professionals that are attending the conference for the education unit. So there's a fee for family members and mental illness and just the community in general, and that's $5.
$5.
And that includes lunch.
Right, and that includes lunch, and then they have little snacks in the morning.
We do, and coffee. We always have coffee.
Mm-hmm. And orange juice or something too.
We have juices, yes,
Juices
we
and
do.
water and all that good stuff. So, I mean, it's not a bad deal. I mean, guys, you can't go to McDonald's for $5, I'm just saying.
Right.
No, it's...
And then you get to, it's like a lunch and learn, you know? I mean, you get to learn a lot. And like Fred was saying, how wonderful it was that you can come together and be around other people that are going through the same things that you are. But also what we were touching on before we went to break was how great it would be for students that were thinking maybe, or that I want to work in that, or may want to go to college, and I want to major in counseling, or I want to major in psychology, or I want to major
Health
in
services,
this,
yes.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone that wants a change of scenery,
A career change.
if they have a change of, yes, because I was a juvenile probation officer, so I went from working with the criminal side with juveniles to what I'm doing now, and it's like the best thing. But I do believe that everything that happens for a reason, people, because I think all the people that I have served, the different populations I've served, has helped me be a better person to help the population I'm serving now.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about changing,
changing
jobs,
your career.
Yeah, your career. I mean, that would be a really good way to kind of talk to other professionals and kind of see what's going on behind the scenes a little bit.
Because I believe everything you do in life informs your perspective.
Yes, I agree.
So even prior jobs that you've been on, it informs your perspective. But the thing about mental health, no matter what your walk in life is, no matter what your level of education is, socioeconomic status, where you were raised. It is a human issue.
Correct.
It's really not a status issue.
Correct. That's what. Yes.
So when you find people in the room that either migrate towards the mental health field or they need assistance from the mental health field, everybody brings together a unique level of perspective that they've brought with them from their walk of life.
I agree. And I think mental health, I don't think it, I know it. It touches everyone.
Yeah, it's a human issue.
Because you're human, yes. So if you're not dealing with it yourself,
right.
You know someone that's dealing with it, or it's, at some point in your life, you may have felt down, you may have felt depressed. All those are mental health issues.
No matter
that's
what
you're
race,
going through.
no matter what your race, no matter what your gender, no matter what your persuasion of worship, no matter what your education.
You're human.
And it's a human issue.
Right.
Yes.
And then the real job that we all must do is, suicide is a huge issue.
Yes.
And it affects everyone. And if we can help someone not cause death by suicide.
Yes.
This conference is worth it.
It was worth it.
Yes.
It was
Yes,
worth
I
it.
agree.
And there will be people there who have attempted suicide, who have had a family member who has successfully taken their life by suicide. And as painful as that is, that's the bottom line, that what we try to prevent.
Right, and it's permanent. That's a permanent solution that you can't go back from.
You cannot go back.
And it's touched my life. I had a best friend from college that took their own life, and it's not only to prevent someone, but maybe to help other people that have had someone take their life.
Exactly.
They have not dealt with it yet.
Right.
They have not talked about it or whatever, because that's a hard emotion to navigate.
Yes.
Because you're angry, you're sad.
Yeah,
You
and
feel
think
guilty,
about how
all these things.
Think about how courageous the surviving family members have to be
to speak about
it. There's a organization called Maximize Mental Health.
Yes.
They did a workshop for us last year, and they're one of our grantees at the Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama, and they have a tremendous heart for helping people that find themselves in similar situations. Their son committed suicide, thus the name Maximize Mental Health. That's where the organization got its name from. And they go from place to place, and they provide just really open and candid dialogue with people to say, hey, this is what we went through as a family, and what they survived. But I mean, it's I don't think it's a dry eye in the room to see how courageous they are.
I don't know if you'll have to go back and watch one of my shows, but I don't know if you know Michelle, who owns the Redbird Willow Farm in Sachs. Her son took his life, and I went to high school with her, and she's a big advocate as well. And like you said, I tell her all the time that she's my hero, because she has to psych herself up. I mean, seriously, to even talk about it, because that's a big issue. Like you said, it's very courageous for anyone out there that's dealing with it. The ones that are left here to talk about it. I think it's. It helps them heal, talking about it, I'm sure, but I think it also helps them helping others. I think by you helping others, talking about it, I mean, I don't think they realize how big of an impact they do have on people by talking about it. And like you said, how courageous it is. I mean, because Michelle, when
she's
she
a role model.
Yes, I just tell her all the time, she's my hero. I mean, how that's just wonderful that you talk about it, and that you can be that person to talk to other families that are going through the same things, or if you can prevent somebody, like you said, from even thinking about it again. I mean, how wonderful that is. So, I mean, as you see, Out of the Shadows, it touches all different kinds of mental illness. You talk about substance abuse, you're talking about domestic violence, talking about somebody dealing with cancer, talking about veterans issues, homelessness issues, suicide, diagnosis with mental illnesses, social media, bullies. I mean, like there's so many.
No, there's a lot.
You know,
yeah.
churches.
Yeah,
It just touches every aspect of life.
And you find out that a lot of things are symptoms, and mental health is the root cause.
That's true.
You would, we talk about our sheriff's department, our police department, that they're having to lock people up for petty crimes, but really the root cause of the revolving door for those individuals at its heart is mental health.
Mental health.
That they've never talked
that
about.
they've never talked
never
about
been
and
addressed.
never dealt with.
Right.
And so they just use other avenues, which are really just symptoms of the fact that
of the pain.
And like you said, it's a revolving door that's on and on
yeah.
and on and on
Yeah.
and on and on
Yeah.
until they decide to get off of it and actually talk about it.
Correct. Correct.
You know, sometimes I think we get caught into the blaming game or what
Yes.
happened, and we really we don't want to blame anybody
No.
for anything. We want to say,
We want you to talk about it.
how can we help you?
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
how can you help me? How can we make?
And I learned something new every day. I've learned something from talking to you guys
Yeah.
today. So I
make
mean,
yourself stronger.
because well, it is, and I think that you're a bigger person by admitting that you do not know everything. 'Cause, I mean, because I don't know everything, and every time we have one of these shows, our director MJ and I, we always, some of our guests will say something, we're like, what? I mean, we didn't know about that, so we always learn something. I mean, it's just, it's wonderful. I think it's a good thing to learn new things. I tell folks that, when you don't understand something, you get frustrated. And I use this example all the time. I hate math. I have an admission, I hate math. And I'm back in school right now, I know. But it's because my mind doesn't work that way. I can write you a paper all day long, but I can't do math. But I think it's just like, as with math, when you don't understand something, it frustrates you because you don't know about it. You're not,
or you give up.
You can just give up because you're just so frustrated. You don't even want to talk about it, right? Same way with, I think, anything else in life, to include mental health, dementia, whatever it is that somebody's that's going through. If you don't understand something, that's what frustrates you, and then you don't want to deal with it. Out of sight, out of mind. If I don't talk about it, it doesn't exist, kind of thing. And I think that we all should take those barriers down and say, okay, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to pain through it, and I'm just going to talk about it, because when you do understand it, that's when you can breathe. Because then you're like, oh, I understand now.
Well, when you're in a crisis, a lot of times your family members or friends are telling you what to do.
Yes.
And really, we all have the answers within ourselves about what to do, and we just want to facilitate that, because
that's a good way to look at that.
well, if you think about it, kids, teenagers, bless their hearts, they've got people telling them what to do all the time. But if you help them kind of say, well,
that's not a reason for you guys to like to defy your mom and dad. We'll go ahead and tell you that.
but to work together with, mom and dad and
this is how I
teenager,
feel.
we're all
Because there's
in it.
nothing wrong with saying how you feel about things.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with being angry. It's just how you show that anger, right?
That's exactly right.
So.
But we're all in it together, I
think
don't
that's so
know how to
wonderful.
solve your problems, but I can help you.
Or I
can
don't know how you feel because I've never been in that situation.
But we can work. We can work through it, and I think
Correct.
that's what most of our speakers are giving other avenues to how
And
to
guys,
work
you
on
guys
issues.
would not believe this list of speakers. I am not kidding. I mean, I was sitting
We're
there scrolling
excited
through
about
them. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're breakout sessions, so they're not just like one right behind each other. You get to choose. You get to pick and choose who you get to go see and learn from and that kind of thing. So tell them again what they need to do so we can show the graphic again about how to register.
But we have a wonderful QR code. If you can pull that up, there we go. If you can just scan the QR code, it will take you straight to registration. Or you can call 256-782-8208, and you will be registered to join the conference. And we will start at 8 a.m. at the Oxford Civic Center on May the 9th. And we look forward to seeing you.
We'll have a cup of
I'll
coffee
go ahead
for
and
you.
say this too. I personally will sponsor someone. If you do not have that $5, I'll sponsor you. Just call me at the TV station or Facebook message me or something. But I will do that because I feel like it's very important for people to come to that.
Very good.
So
Thank you for that.
I will actually do that myself. So just make sure that you either write me at ellen@tv24.tv, and if you need to go to this, I'll do that. And it's May 9th.
May 9th.
And then another thing before we go, I want to make sure that you guys know about our events that are coming up for the Alabama Cares program. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we have May 20th, and you might or might not get to see Miss Kathy and Mr. Fred again that day. They might be our speakers, I'm just saying. So make sure you do that, and we hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and we wish you all the best, and make sure that you register for this, and we will see you again next week. And thank you for watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.